Hey guys, it's Claire and welcome to another project vlog. In the past couple of clips you might have been able to tell that I already cast on this new project, so I thought I'd finally show you what I'm working on. And it's this cardigan number 8 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks on and off, but I haven't really filmed anything yet because it wasn't my main whip. I was still working on my storm sweater and a couple of other smaller things, so I only worked on this every couple of days for a little bit. But now that it's my main whip, I thought I'd finally properly film an intro for the video. So here I am. I just finished knitting the back yoke and this is what it looks like. I absolutely adore this fabric. The yarn I'm using is Knit Pure Tweed in the color Scottish Borders Multicolor, which looks like this. And then I'm holding this with Saga Alpaca 1 in the color 61, which looks like this. This is a lace weight alpaca yarn, and this is, I think it's an air weight. It has 160 meters per 100 grams, so I think it's an air weight. Yeah, I'm using these two together, and together they make this beautiful kind of dusty pink beigey fabric, and I absolutely love it. The tweed yarn has all these multicolored specks, as the name suggests, and I absolutely adore it. So I'm super happy with the fabric this is making. I'm using the needles suggested in the pattern, which are 5.5 millimeter needles. Yeah, I just adore this. As you can tell, I put this on scrap yarn, which I usually don't do. Most of the time I just leave the back yoke on the cable from the interchangeable needles. However, I think I'm going to attempt a mid-project vlog for the first time, because if you look at this, it kind of pulls together, the fabric kind of pulls together here, and I want to block it so that it lies flat like this, because I'm worried that if I pick up stitches for the front yoke, the tension will be off later when I block it. So I thought it would make sense to block this so it lies perfectly flat, and then I can pick up the stitches for the front yoke, which I'm a little bit annoyed by because if I block it now, it'll take 2 or 3 days to dry properly. But I do think it's the smart thing to do. So that's what I'll do. That's why I put it on scrap yarn. And then in a couple of days, I can hopefully keep working on this. It also kind of rolls here, so I think actually the entire fabric kind of rolls. So I do think it's not a terrible idea to block it, but yeah, I just don't want to wait. I want to keep working on it. It's the next day now and I'm gonna keep working on this. It's still a tiny bit wet. I would say it's like 90% dry now, and I'm a little bit impatient, so I'm just gonna keep working on it and I think it should be fine. I think blocking it was a really good decision because now it's not rolling anymore, and yeah, I think it's just gonna make working on this a lot easier. morning, everyone. Long time no see. It is currently, I don't even know what day it is. It is Monday. I know that. It is currently Monday, October 7th, and I thought I would give you an update on my cardigan. I haven't updated you in quite a while, I think. So let me show you where we're at. This is what it looks like, which is not very... Okay, so I used up 2 entire balls for the body so far. I should have prepped this. So I have used 2 balls for the body so far, and then I decided to stop there once I used up the second ball. So the second ball of the pure tweed, once I used that up, I decided to start the sleeves first. And I did plan on doing that together with you, on picking up the stitches on camera, but I was calling with my family and I didn't want to whip out the camera, so I didn't. But I did pick up for the first sleeve yesterday, and for some reason I feel like the sleeve pickup looks so neat. Also, my nails are a little bit rough, don't look at them. But yeah, I'm really happy with the sleeve pickup, especially, I don't know, this part I feel like looks so neat. Maybe I'm delusional, but I really like it. So yeah, I also did this because whenever you're working with 2 strands, most of the time only one of them will run out. So I decided to just stop working on the body when the pure tweed ran out, because that's the bulky yarn. And then, because I didn't want to cut the alpaca yarn, the lace weight yarn, I just stuck it to the body with a hair tie, so it doesn't come undone and doesn't annoy me, and it's working great. So pro tip, if you ever plan on doing something like this. I'm still a little bit indecisive whether I want to make the sleeves shorter, as I most of the time do, or if I just want to knit them to pattern, because it is a super oversized pattern. So I feel like if I make the sleeves shorter, it might look disproportionate. So I'm thinking I might as well just lean into the huge oversized thing and go with super oversized sleeves. According to the pattern, I have 35 centimeters of positive ease. So, you know, having 35 centimeters of positive ease and then just having really stubby sleeves, I feel like might look weird. So yeah, I'm thinking I might as well just lean into it and do it according to the pattern, right? To be fair, I measured and they're probably gonna go up to like here, so they're gonna be really long. But again, I mean, why not? I do love really cozy sleeves. Yeah, that's the entire update on this. You might have also seen me wind up the 3rd ball of yarn, so I'm currently on my 3rd one, and I have 6, so I think we should be fine. I'm not really worried. I think I'm gonna need 3 for the body, 1 for each sleeve, and then I have 1 for the button band and the pockets. So yeah, that should be fine. Right, I can talk about that real quick. I am also meeting a friend, so I don't really have time to film right now, but oh well. My favorite things knitwear teased a skirt that fits the cardigan, and I'm a little mad because I don't have enough yarn for the skirt, but it's so cool that she's releasing a fitting skirt right as I'm making this. So maybe one day I will have to make it. Honestly, she hasn't even released it yet. She just teased it and said it's gonna go into testing soon. But I really like it, so I might need to make it once it comes out. Just having a set could be so fun. Honestly, I don't know if I'd ever wear a skirt with this boyfriend style jacket, but still, I think it's so fun. I don't know, I'm gonna have to wait until the pattern comes out, obviously, and then I'll decide, but I just thought it was so fun that right as I'm finally making this is a pretty old pattern, I think, so right as I'm making this, she posts about making a fitting skirt. That's so fun. So yeah, that's everything I have to talk about for now. I think I've been talking for way too long. Again, I'm meeting a friend. Yeah, I should be leaving in 5 minutes, so see you soon. Hey guys, quick little check-in. It is Wednesday, October 9th now. I've been knitting on this sleeve for a couple of days and I just finished all the decreases. You might be able to tell from all these little stitch markers. So I'm done with the decreases. I only have to do a little bit of stockinette and the ribbing. I do think this is going to take me another probably like 2-ish weeks, which is a little sad. I really just want to wear this like now, but oh well. I'm hoping to be able to finish the sleeve today. I think that should be doable. And then I can move on to the second sleeve. So that's all I have for now. I'll check back in once I'm finished with this sleeve. I'm currently knitting the second pocket, and my ball of yarn ran out for the last row. I legit only have to do one more row and the bind off, but I'm out of this yarn. I mean, I'm not out of this yarn. I do have more, but it's just the ball that ran out, and now I have to switch to a new one, and I'm annoyed. But other than that, it's been going great. I haven't really checked in, but I have actually finished both of my sleeves now, and I'm currently working on the second pocket, and then I will only have to finish the body and the button band, and I'm so excited. Should I try it on? Let me try it on. I love this so much. These sleeves have the perfect length, in my opinion. I think these are just the perfect cozy sleeves. I love them so much. This fabric is also really thick and comfy. I think I've talked about the fabric of this in every single clip, but you cannot comprehend how much I love it. It's just so nice and cozy and big and oversized. I just love this. Like, look at this. Isn't this just so cute? I feel like my clips in this video have been kind of all over the place. I have been knitting on this, not really on and off, but just I haven't had a good chunk of time to knit on this, so it's always a couple of rows here and there, and because of that, the progress is pretty slow, so I kind of never check in. But yeah, I thought, you know, I have both of the sleeves done. I only have to do a little bit more of the body, and then I'll have to do the ribbing and the button band. I thought it would be a good point to check in. So yeah, I do have a little bit of yarn left that is wound up. I have this much. So I can finish the pocket now, but I'm thinking before I start continuing the body, I should probably wind up another skein, but I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm also rewatching Twilight. I absolutely adore Twilight. It's my absolute comfort movie. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a good movie, but it's just so perfectly funny because it is so bad, you know, so it's my absolute favorite comfort movie for when I don't know what to watch or I'm stressed out. So I'm rewatching Twilight. Classes, right, that's another reason I haven't really been updating. Classes have started back up again. We are finally in the fall semester now, and I've just been a little busy. Mostly hanging out with friends, also a little bit of studying, but yeah, I've just not been home a whole lot, so not a lot of knitting has been done in the past couple of days. So that's an update. I don't know, I'll see you when I keep knitting on the body at some point. Oh my god. This just came undone, so I now have to save my stitches. But yeah, that's the update for now. I will see you at some point when I continue knitting the body. Good night. I'm making good progress on my cardigan now. According to the pattern, I should knit 6 more centimeters of stockinette and then 8 centimeters of ribbing in total. So I wanted to check if that's how long I want it or if I want to adjust it. If I knit this to pattern, it'll kind of come down to here. I think that'll be a good length. The decision that I want to make right now is actually whether I want to make it longer than the pattern, which I don't think I've ever knit anything longer than the pattern suggests. But my thought process here is that this is a really oversized cardigan, and in the pattern, it's kind of really big in circumference, but then it hits pretty short in my opinion, so it's very boxy. And what I'm thinking about right now is whether I want to make it longer so it's properly oversized everywhere. There's a length I find with sweaters where it's just awkward when it's not cropped, but also not properly oversized, but it kind of just is weird, sits weird around the hips and on the butt. So right now I'm wondering and trying to figure out whether it will hit at that awkward spot and I need to make it a bit longer to make it properly oversized, or whether it's gonna be fine just knitting to pattern. I definitely am not gonna crop this because this is such a big cardigan. It has 30-ish, 35-ish centimeters of positive ease, so I definitely don't want this cropped. So I definitely want this huge. But yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to hit about here, I would say, so it just covers my hips fully, and I'm just worried it'll be too short, which is something I rarely say about clothes. But I think this will actually pretty much be exactly 14 centimeters, at least if I measure here, it's pretty much exactly 14 centimeters. So I think I'm just gonna knit it to pattern. I might add 1 centimeter, but not a lot. So yeah, that's the plan. We're in the final stages of making this cardigan. I'm saying this fully aware that the button band always takes longer than I expect it to. When it's double knit, it'll take forever, but I don't want to think about the button band right now. I just want this finished so I can wear it before it gets really, really cold. Just want this done in fall. So I'm gonna go take a shower and then I'll just knit for the night probably. I might edit a little bit, but I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna knit. Last night I started doing the ribbing. I've only done 2 rows so far, but I did start. And I'm currently trying to figure out what buttons I want to use because I might have to get new ones. In my button stash, I have some petite knit buttons. I have some of the petite knit bling buttons, which are these. I really want to use these because I think it's kind of fun to have this contrast between the really rustic fabric and then these like really, you know, bling yarns. It's the name for a reason. I just think it's kind of fun. However, the problem with these is that they are kind of too small. The pattern suggests 22 to 24 millimeters and these are 20. And so I do have another type of button, which is I think 22 or 24, so it's definitely in the recommended size range, but they're just simple black buttons. However, I did just get them out so I can see how this size would work. So what I'm trying to figure out now is which of these buttons I want to use, and if I use these bling buttons, I might have to buy more. So in the pattern, you're supposed to use 4 of these size buttons. These are kind of the options. I really don't like the black, so I'm definitely not going to use these exact buttons, but this is just to give you an idea of the way the size would look and to give myself an idea of what the size would look like. And then on the right, I just put the bling buttons. I'm just not sure if these are too far apart for the size. Like, I think with these types of buttons, like the bigger buttons, this is fine. But then for these, I feel like they should be a little bit closer together, but I only have 4 because I got them a long time ago for another project. So I feel like these would look a little bit nicer, like maybe like this. But then I would be 1 button short, which technically is fine, but I checked online and they're so expensive. Plus, I would have to pay shipping for a singular button. Basically, what I'm trying to figure out is if 4 buttons is okay, or if I will hate the 4 buttons and I have to buy another one. But I'm just so bad at imagining this. However, I kind of have to decide now, because once I start doing the button band, I have to place the buttonholes. So I have to know whether I'm making 4 or 5 buttonholes. But I'm so indecisive. Update on the button situation. I think I'm just gonna go with 4 buttons. I'm almost done with the ribbing now. I'm only missing 2 rows, and then I can do the bind off, and I feel like this looks okay. I just finished doing the button band, and I think I'm gonna have to fix a few things. First of all, I do like the way this button band looks. It's really neat. It's also really nice and fluffy because the yarn is so thick, so it makes a really nice placket. Now, the thing that I want to fix is the button placement, which is a little sad because you knit the buttonholes into the button band, but I think I'm gonna have to change them because I just tried it on and I feel like the placement is a little odd. I sometimes find it difficult to decide on the button placement before having the placket on because obviously the fit changes based on the placket. So before, when I tried it on, having it the way the pattern suggests you to do it looked really odd, like the buttons would start really low down. But now that there's a few centimeters of fabric more here, it sits very different. And now the way that I did the button bands looks weird and I should have just done it the way the pattern suggests. But oh well. So this is the placement, the way that I have my buttonholes right now. And I feel like lying down it's a little less obvious than when I try it on, but the proportions of this part to like the part with the buttons just looks really odd. And also my highest button is above the last v-neck increase. So it looks a little bit weird. Therefore, what I'm probably gonna try to do is I will sew up the buttonholes and I will try to make afterthought buttonholes. I've only done that once, so I hope that's gonna work out and I won't make everything worse than it was. So I finished re-knitting this part of the button band with all the new buttonholes, and all that's left is to graft these pieces together, which I'm expecting to not go well, but let's try it out together. I have a long tail that I intentionally left way too long, so that would definitely be enough. And then I have here the tutorial on how to graft knitting stitches by Nimble Needles, which I love Nimble Needles for his knitting tutorials. They're great. I love them. He also usually has a video and written instructions, which again, great. Love that. So we're just gonna try this. Now, this is just for normal knitting and this is double knit. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but we'll see. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to separate out the stitches for from the double knitting, and then I'll basically graft it together in the round. I'm also somehow missing a stitch. That is not great. Like, nothing's pulling, but I'm missing a stitch. I'll figure it out in a second, I hope, I think, maybe. Probably not. Just for the record, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing here right now. I'm simply praying that it's not gonna look terrible. Not gonna lie, it was kind of a rash decision to just cut somewhere this morning. Considering that, I do think it's turning out all right. But yeah, I have no real plan what I'm doing here. Alright, so I think this would actually have had potential. This could have looked good. Oh my god, I forgot a stitch. Oh no, I missed a stitch. One sec, I need to fix things. Alright, so as I was saying, I think this would have had potential. I'm pretty sure I just messed up the way that I went into the stitches somehow. Like with the going into the stitch from the front and the back, I think I messed something up because it looks not great. But I think it looks good enough to leave it like this. I feel like from afar, you can't really tell. Like, you can kind of tell, but after blocking, I don't think you'll be able to tell. So all that's left to do now is weave in the ends, block, and then add the buttons and the pockets. I'm gonna do that after blocking just because I think it's easier. And then this cardigan will finally be done. I just finished weaving in the ends, and I think I might have done a genius thing, because can you tell where I grafted this together? I feel like you can't. When I was weaving in this end here where I grafted it, I realized I could duplicate stitch over it to make the stitches look proper, and it worked so well. I'm gonna say that you can feel where I grafted it together, but I feel like you can barely see it now. It's very thick here because there's so many layers of fabric now, but I think, yeah, again, you can't really tell. Here you can tell a little bit because it's messy because I didn't do it too nice on the wrong side, but on the right side you can barely tell. So I'm really happy that I redid this part. It did take me another day, which is a little sad. I was excited to get this finished this morning, and it is now almost 11, I think. But I did get it done, and I'm happy because I know it would have annoyed me if I had the buttons in a place that I didn't like them. So yeah, taking this one day extra to actually make this something that I like, I guess was worth it, even though it was a little bit annoying. But now she's all done, so I can go block her, and I'll finish her once she's dry. Hopefully in like 2 days, maybe 3. It is really thick fabric, so it might take a while to dry. Hey guys, it's finally time for the final reveal of my cardigan number 8. It took a couple of days to dry, which is understandable because the fabric is really thick, but I love the way it turned out. It is just the perfect cozy oversized cardigan, I think. Right now I'm wearing it over a hoodie, and I think it's actually really nice as outerwear. And I love the fit. It is kind of the perfect oversized size, I think. Okay, let me button this real quick. It has the perfect oversized fit, and I love the pockets. They fit my phone exactly, so that's perfect. I did want to film me sewing these on, but it ended up taking so much longer than I anticipated. I thought this would be like a 20-minute thing, and I ended up and it ended up taking almost 2.5 hours, so I did actually not end up filming it because it just took so long. But I think they do look really nice. I just kept going into the wrong row, and then it just ended up going up and up and up, so I had to redo it a couple of times. I still have a few mistakes in there, but it's not that bad, and at some point I just could not take doing it one more time because I kept having to undo it and re-sew. So yeah, they're not perfect. They're also one stitch different, like on both sides. They're not completely symmetrical because I kind of must have slipped or something, but it's fine, it's handmade. I use these really cute buttons. Maybe if I put my light here, you can see better. These are so sparkly. They're the Petite Knit Bling buttons that I think she used for her April cardigan. I'm not entirely sure. But I think these are so incredibly cute. They're definitely a little bit of a different vibe from the rest of the cardigan, but that was intended. I just think it's a little bit fun to play around with stuff like that sometimes, like the really casual oversized fit and then these really cute bling, literally bling bling buttons. So yeah, I'm really happy. As for the knitting process, I think it was really smooth. I knit the pattern exactly as it was written. I didn't shorten anything. I didn't really change anything. I only did a single tiny modification. So when doing the buttonholes, she tells you to cut the yarn, and I really didn't want to weave in all those ends, so I used the buttonholes from another pattern that I've made from the Jenny jacket by Petite Knit, and I kind of modified them a little bit to make them work for this button band, just so I would not have to cut all the yarn, and it worked out fine. They fit perfectly for these buttons. They just saved me from having to weave in even more ends. So that's the only modification that I did. I think this is a great length. It's definitely not super long. Like compared to how big the body is, I would say it's pretty short, but it's not cropped. It's a very boxy fit, which is, I think, exactly the word she uses to describe it. And yeah, it's just a perfect boxy fit. The sleeves are also pretty long, which I really like. I have a lot of things that have kind of bracelet length sleeves, but for outerwear like this, I thought this would be really nice because then it keeps my hands warm and cozy. I also love this fabric, so I use I've probably mentioned it before in this video, but I used Erica Pure Tweed and then Isager Alpaca 1, I think, the lace weight alpaca by Isager. And I love this fabric after blocking. So before blocking, especially the Pure Tweed was a little bit rustic, which I was okay with, but it was definitely not soft. And I would say it softened up significantly with blocking. I'm guessing it's the alpaca, but it started kind of having this little fuzz and halo, and it just softened up significantly, and it feels really nice now. Overall, this project took way longer than I anticipated. I thought this would be like a 4-week thing because it's on such big needles, but the needles actually ended up hurting my hands quite a bit because rustic yarn and big needles just wasn't great for my wrists, which meant that I had to go pretty slow on some parts. So it took a lot longer than I anticipated. It took 7 weeks in total, but I did make it, and I do love the result. So I'm super happy nonetheless. I think I'm gonna leave you with that. I think that's a good conclusion to this video. So if you watched till here, thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope you're having a great day or evening wherever you are, and I would love for you to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you're working on right now for the fall or winter, or maybe spring if you're in the southern hemisphere. Just let me know what you're excited to work on right now, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!